I just started going to therapy. Hi guys, so I'm leaving for the market in a few hours and I just wanted to quickly go over all the new products that I made this week. I'm not going to show everything, like just the things that I replenished because that's boring, but I made 22 items in total this week to restock and also adding new products. So this market is at the Sydney Pier. It's in Sydney. It's a Sydney market. And I go crabbing there all the time and lots of people go crabbing there all the time off of the dock. So I thought it'd be cool to make some little crabs. So I made 4 of these little crab guys and I'm obsessed with these variegated ones. I think that they're so pretty. Oh, there we go. Like, look at them. This is like one of my favorite crab patterns I've ever seen. It was no-sew, super fast. I'm charging $20 for these, but yes, I love these crabs. And then, fun fact, I just got a crested gecko as a pet. So I've been doing a ton of research on reptiles. So I decided to make some reptile plushies for people who are into reptiles as well. So I made these leopard geckos. I kind of freehanded them. I based the pattern off of the lizard pattern in the Crochet by Jenna book. Hi, Bean. Hi. This is my other pet. He's getting a little bit jealous of the lizard. But yes. I made 2 leopard geckos and I'm charging $30 for each of them. Then I also made 2 snakes and I tried to base them off of like realistic color morphs of snakes. This one's kind of supposed to be like a corn snake. And then this one's kind of just generic, like blotchy, but I'm sure there's snakes that kind of look like this. But these are also going to be $30. I also replenished a guinea pig because I've made like 3 guinea pigs, I think, so far in the market season, and all of them have sold. Like I keep selling out of them. So I might need to make some more, but I only had time to make 1 this week, and I think this color is so cute. I also made a mouse or rat, I'm not sure. I know that last time a lot of people thought that the possums were rats, so I thought that I would make an actual rat. I guess it looks more like a mouse, but it can be whatever you want it to be. And that's also $20. Oh yeah, and the guinea pig, I'm charging $30 for it. I have only made 1 of these through the season, and I kind of took a break from making possums because I kind of hated making them. But I made 3 of these dead possums, like roadkill possums. They have no stuffing in them, so you can like kind of smush them however you want. And I think that people are gonna like these for sure. I'm charging $20 for these. And then I made 1 regular possum and I made 4 baby safe chickens. Chickens are not new to me, but lots of people were asking about if the chickens could be baby safe, because a lot of people love the chickens. And lots of people are looking for gifts for babies. So baby safe chickens. And I also keep selling out of pandas. So I ended up making 2 pandas this week. I made one in gray, like dark gray for the first time. And I think it's so cute. This one is so short. What the heck? It's like... Anyways, these are $20 as well. So that is all of the new things that I made this week. And I will see you in a few hours when we go to the market. It is market day and we are about to drive about half an hour to the market. This is the market that is furthest away out of all the markets that we're doing. And this is a 3-hour night market, which is why I have so much more energy today because I did not have to wake up super early for this market. Also, guys, look at my nails. Look at that. Beautiful. I did them myself. It took me forever. Anyways, I will see you at the market. It took us so long to even get to our spot because there was so much traffic, so many cars trying to get to their spots, and I have to pee really bad and my mom's parking, and we only have like 45 minutes to set up and we haven't even started, but we've unloaded everything. I went to Fairway to go to the bathroom and they closed their bathroom because I guess they don't want people in the market using it. I had to go in this restaurant that said that they had no public washrooms, but there was no hostess there. So I ran into the washroom. Then as I was leaving, she came and started walking towards me. So I ran away. What a rebel. I love that they said specifically that you're only supposed to have white tents, and I see purple, green, blue, black. It's literally 3 minutes before the market's supposed to start, and people were walking in like at 5:15, and it's supposed to start at 5:30. So stressful. People were like asking me prices, and I'm like still completely setting up. This is one of the most stressful markets I've ever done already, and it hasn't even technically started. After some hustling and bustling, this is what we're looking like. We're at the very end of this huge market. We're already getting a ton of foot traffic. No one's bought anything yet, but that's okay. It literally just technically opened, even though everyone was coming through before it was actually open. Oopsies, it's on. We just made our first sale. A Pokeball and a Pikachu for $30 total, and a mini leggy frog for $10. So we're almost halfway through the market. It's a pretty short market, and it's very slow. And it's the most expensive booth fee that I have. So there's like lots of people, so much foot traffic, but lots of lookers. And I think since there's so many vendors, it's just hard for people to justify spending money because they're like, oh, what else is out there? Hi guys, we have about an hour left in the market, and we have sold 17 items.
And I am optimistic.
I'm feeling a little bit...
I'm optimistic.
Jared is doing a great job at being my bookkeeper and
keeping the books,
being my bank for the cash in the fanny pack, and also keeping my spirits high, even though this is the least we've ever sold at a market so far, and it's the most expensive market we've ever been to. So he is being the sunshine in the night. Yep. We are back for our market recap. I feel like you could tell in some of the clips that I was a little bit grumpy during the market, and I feel kind of bad about that now. I think just the rushiness of the beginning of the market, and like I really hate feeling frazzled or disorganized, and then the combination of like us setting up really quickly and being stressed about setting up on time while customers were already coming into the market. I don't know how it works with them letting people in, but there were just a ton of people already there like half an hour early, and like I said, I only had about half an hour to set up. So there were like kids with their parents touching all my stuff, moving it all around, asking me questions like, what's the price, where you can see the price, while I am like frantically still trying to set up, build my display, like literally still building it. So by the time that I was done setting up, we still had like 10 minutes to spare before the market technically was supposed to start, but we already had a bunch of foot traffic, which was very exciting, but there were a lot of people there and not a lot of sales. I think part of that is because there are 150 vendors there, and that's a lot. I was also located at the very end. Like there was big long strip of market, and then I'm like over here. There's one other person next to me, and then there's nothing on that side. So I don't know if it was the location. They tried to set up a children's area near our location, but it was a little bit further into the market, so you didn't actually have to walk all the way down. I had a lot of parents telling their kids that they weren't allowed to buy anything, which is fine, but you know, it's kind of just disappointing to hear, like when a kid is just super excited about something and then their parent is like, no, I told you we're not buying anything at this market. Then it's like, why did you come? Kind of. I don't know. Like, I'm not bitter about the fact that they're not buying anything at my booth, but it's like you're tempting your kid with all of this stuff. And you're like, I think it's nice when the parents give like a little price limit where they're like, hey, here's $10. You can go around the whole market and choose what you want to spend your $10 on. Like, I don't think that's that hard. But I digress. I'm not judging. I don't know people's situations. It's just, I mean, I'm sure if you have vended at markets, it's frustrating when it looks like your booth is super busy and you have constant foot traffic going through your booth and your booth has like lots of people in it pretty much the whole time, but no one's buying anything. It's just disappointing. I also had some not so positive interactions near the beginning. So I was already a little bit frazzled, and then like people come up and you can tell that they're like, oh, so and so can make this, so and so can make this. Like, you can hear little bits of their conversation. And I also heard people commenting on my prices. I had one kid straight up be like, this is too expensive. And it's like, it's not too expensive, it's priced appropriately, you just can't afford it, unfortunately. And she was like, this is so small, why is it so expensive? And I understand for a kid that, you know, you're given you have saved your money and then something's above your price limit and you've seen so many plushies at all these other stores of similar size that are way cheaper. But normally when that kind of thing happens, it doesn't bother me because the parents will explain to the kid, like, oh, it's because it's handmade, type of thing. You know what I mean? Or, oh, you can't say that. Like, that's not a very kind thing to say. But this parent just, like, was like, yeah, well, guess you can't get it. Like, I don't know. It was just, this one kid kept coming back to my stall, like, 3 times wanting this duck. And it was $35, and she kept coming back and buying little things with her money, but then she kept coming back to the duck, but she didn't have enough for the duck, and her mom said that if she spends however much money on the duck, then her mom will give her the rest of it. Ooh, my light just turned off. She's pretty much at the market the whole 3 hours, and eventually she comes back, after she had come back 2 other times already, buying small things like $10 to $5, and she was like, can I return this, like, $8 item so that I can get the duck? And I was like, oh yeah, like, absolutely. So I gave her money back and she returned it, and then she just walks away and she didn't buy the duck and she never came back. So, like, I know she's just a kid and I definitely should have been smarter about that interaction and been like, oh, well, why don't you give me the $8 plushie, and then when you get the duck, then I will just deduct that much from how much you're going to pay for it, instead of actually giving her the money back. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know what people's policies about returning things are, but it just seems really weird to me, returning something handmade at a market. I mean, trading it in for something bigger, that makes sense, that's fine. But I probably wouldn't have let her return it if I knew that she was just gonna walk away with the money. Because, like, I don't know, if someone buys something from your booth and then they decide that, oh, I like something at this other person's booth better, but I already bought something from your booth, then it just feels weird to ask to return that thing if they're gonna go buy something from someone else's booth. You know what I mean? It's like, you already made your decision. You're supporting a business. That might be a really hot take. And it's like not a big deal. It's $8. Like, it's fine. It's just it's the principle. It's the principle, I think, that bothered me. And I was just already really, my senses were heightened. It was busy. I'm an anxious person. I have ADHD, so I'm just taking in all of my surroundings and trying to talk to everyone. And like, it was just really overstimulating for me. So then when, like, constant interactions were kind of leaving me with a bad taste in my mouth, I guess, it just didn't make me feel very good. And I talked to a bunch of other vendors just to make sure that it wasn't just me, like that it's like, oh, people just don't want your product. But I talked to some other vendors, and they said that they made about a quarter of how much they normally make at that market. So I guess later in the season when school's out, that's when all the kids come and parents are like ready to spend money, because school's over. They're like trying to buy activities for their kids. They're like taking them to the market because they want something to do. So that was promising. I will just tell you how much I made. So I sold 23 items, which is not that bad. I'm not like saying I did bad. It's just, I just felt uncomfortable and a little bit annoyed. Even if I made like $400 at the James Bay Market, which was a $35 booth fee, I would be like, that was worth it to me. Like, that's an appropriately priced market for the outcome. But this one, I made $399. And if you're thinking of your hourly wage and you're like, okay, $400 for being there for 3 hours, that's pretty damn good. But then you think about how many hours you put into your actual product, and then it doesn't seem so good. And then I had to take away $100 for the booth fee and $4 for the square fees. So then my total profits for the day was $295. If I had a great time at this market and like I just was feeling awesome, it was like not stressful, I was having fun, like I think I would feel a little bit less bitter about it. There were a ton of volunteers though, so I don't blame any of the volunteers. I don't blame the market organizers. Like, things I think just didn't quite go to plan. I don't really know what I think it's something to do with the city of Sydney not fulfilling their part of the bargain of like, we're gonna close off these streets at this time or whatever. And I think it took all the vendors, especially the new people, a minute to figure out where we were actually supposed to enter the market, because it was quite confusing. So it's a learning curve for everyone, and I understand that. But I think it was just things were piling on top of each other so much with my stress level and customer interactions and constantly like people looking super interested but then not buying anything. And I think also people saying that my stuff was expensive, like too expensive, really triggered something in me, because it's like the subtext of saying something's too expensive is like saying this is not worth the money that you're pricing it at. Like basically saying that my stuff is lower quality, lower value than the price tag that I have put on it. And when you hand make everything, and especially if you're like making things with your own pattern, and you spent so long perfecting your craft, then it kind of feels personal when people say that something's too expensive, because it's hard to have the confidence to appropriately price your handmade items, and I've struggled with that since the beginning. And I know that people don't really think sometimes before they speak, and that's probably not exactly what they meant, but it's just a poor choice of wording when you're at a public handmade product market. I would accept this is out of my price range. Yeah, like something along the lines of this is out of my price range. Maybe like kids could be like, oh, maybe I'll have to save up, or like I can't afford this right now. I wasn't prepared to spend that much money today. Like those types of things. It's like, okay, I understand. You can comment that it's priced highly, but it's not too expensive. I've been so blessed with so many back-to-back amazing markets with amazing people and like super nice customers, a constant flow of people purchasing things, and just consistent like stress-free routine of the market, because I've only been going to one market so far. Part of me expected this. I think part of me is also kicking myself for prepaying for a market that is $100 for 3 hours without really thinking too much about it. This was the first market that I got into and the first one that I applied to, because it's the only market that I've ever actually been to myself. I normally go to this market every year as like a customer. So after getting into these two other markets that I am doing, one, the booth fee's $30 and one, the booth fee's $35. If I had gotten into those ones and knew that they existed first, I probably wouldn't have even applied to go to this one, because it's such high risk with how short it is and how expensive it is. I was going to cancel and try to refund my money for the rest of the times. I'm supposed to be at the same market 3 other times throughout the summer, but those other times are during the summer break for kids in school, and a lot of the vendors that I talked to said that they made like $300 an hour there consistently. So if that happens, I think that would be worth it to me, because you're not there for too long. Hopefully it'll be a little bit more like organized and everyone will kind of know what's going on a little more, and hopefully there'll be more kids. So I am going to go again. The other thing is that this market is the furthest away from me, so I have to drive about 45 minutes to get there, and then I also have to drive to get back, so you're paying for gas, you're using more time. It's just like, it's hard for me to feel good about my decision to do this market when the pros, I don't know if they really outweigh the cons. They definitely didn't for this day, this market day. It might next time, so I'm going to keep my hopes up and try to stick it out for this one. But yes, I am going to try to stay positive. This is kind of a realistic representation of not every market is going to go your way. Like, money aside, not every market is going to go your way. This was the first market that my fiance Jared was able to come out to because it is in the evening and he works during the day, and he works on Saturdays as well, which is why he's not normally able to come to my markets. So it was really, really nice having him there. I think that was just the best thing for him to be there in that moment, because he was like, Sarah, you're kind of giving off a negative vibe right now. Like, these other customers are coming and they didn't do anything wrong, so you need to, you know, push through until the end and then you can be upset about whatever's happening. And he kind of snapped me out of it a little bit. I was getting a little bit on edge for sure. So I was super thankful that he was there. And my mom, of course. My mom helped with every single market, and she just is such a speedy, like, setup and takedown helper. And since I have, like, the back issues, she does a lot of the heavy lifting as well, which I'm super thankful for. I literally couldn't do any of these markets without her. So thank you to everyone. And thank you guys for watching. I hope this vlog wasn't too negative. But I'm just trying to be real with you guys of how I felt and how it went. And that if you are trying to get into markets, it's not all gonna be like rainbows and sunshine the whole time. Not all the customers are gonna be super kind to you, because if you've ever worked in sales for a bigger company, like as an employee, you know that there are some interesting people out there, and you just gotta keep a smile on your face and not let it get to you. So thank you guys so much for watching. I completely encourage you to try doing some markets. It really is a lot of fun. It's a great experience. It's super gratifying being your own boss and selling your stuff. And even if it's not your full-time job, it's not my full-time job, but it's like a really great side hustle. And if you enjoy crocheting, then it really doesn't feel that much like work. So that's my message to you guys, is just go and try it. Even if you just try one, You don't have to sign up for this many your first summer like I did. I would actually recommend you don't, because I feel like I'm going a little bit crazy. Oh, I just started going to therapy, and it's opening my eyes to a lot of my tendencies, and I think I just need to, I wish I didn't sign up for this many, because I just need to slow the heck down. I need to chill. But I would just be cautious about how much you throw on the plate of future you. Make sure that you know yourself, and you know how much you can take on. So yes, I will leave you with that. Thank you again so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye, guys.